watering? What's your water source, and how do you go about watering?
Well, my water source is good here. I heard you mention you got this pretty crappy water source where you are. We have tap water that comes out. I think it's like 26 ppm, something like
I think
that.
you said 46.
Well, I think 26. I think it's like 26 though. It's 40. It's really not big of a difference. So it comes out
Clean.
pretty clean. And I think on my first grow, I don't think I filtered any of it, or I should say I didn't do anything to it. I just ordered it right out of the tap. You can look at those plants; they're unbelievable. Now, I didn't do a good thing. I could give them justice after that, but that was just regular tap water. Now, I find myself using what is that called? That's called acid. What is it?
He uses vitamin C powder, like
Which is ascorbic acid. So I use that to take the chloramine, because we have chloramines. I use that to get the chloramine out of the water. I put a little bit of that in. It also drops the pH down a little bit. Although the big controversy now has been, does it make a difference what your pH is, right? That's kind of the new controversy. And I don't know, but I do know that I try to do what the internet has kind of told me to do, YouTubers. I try to keep it around 65, pH. And I try to get it down there somewhere. But now I almost don't care. But I bought a pH pen, so I might as well use it. I spent some money on it. So that's about the only thing I use my pH pen for, is adjusting my water. And to be honest with you, if it's below 7 and above 5, I really don't care. But I get it out of the tap. I know I'm long-winded here, but I get it out of the tap at probably a little above 8.5, maybe going into 8. I get it. And so I bring it down to under 7, maybe 6.5, and then throw it in there. I think you talked about also the watering habits that I have. The watering habits, when I first started out, I was in 5-gallon, 3-gallon. I did some experimenting with different size pots. And it was dry back for sure. I don't recommend doing those smaller pots without doing it any other way as dry back. I have learned a little something. Drying them back doesn't mean drying them out completely. I don't think I really knew that until I started with these bigger pots and stressed out I think my first time I grew in those pots, I stressed my girls out a little bit. They gave me some seeds. And I only go back when I do dry back on my new pots, my 7-gallon pots. I try to keep them wet most of the time, and I will do dry back on them. I used a Blue Map moisture meter. I really recommend getting a moisture meter. There's a couple little things that I bought for my grow that I think I waited to buy, thinking I could get by without them. So I don't like buying stuff, and I don't like putting extra. There's so many gadgets and gimmicks out there and different stuff. I don't think I just dive in on anything. I think I really take my time in getting there. And you're the reason why I bought my Blue Mat, by the way. I was watching a podcast where you were talking about the Blue Mat moisture meter. You didn't have one yet. Yeah, you didn't have one yet, but you were talking about buying one. And then, of course, I got to have what Mr. Grow It has, so, not only that, but I wanted to get them. So I bought one. And then I discovered when I bought it that, big old huge carrot.
Oh my goodness. He's like, it's so big.
I expected to have something I was going to be putting in each bag and checking the soil on, of course. So in for a penny, in for a pound, give me another 3 of those, because now I got to get, to my other containers.
They're expensive.
So I find myself drying out my container when I'm doing dry back on them to about 25%. I leave about 25% of water in there when I do a dry back. And that's a good dry back. And that's how we were talking about, what is it, IPM or PM or whatever it's called?
PPM?
No.
Pest management?
Pest management. Yeah. And the only pests I've ever had in my grow really are gnats. And, we've had a few seasons where it was a big joke, because I thought I handled it with mosquito dunks. And lo and behold, it was just a dry back that got rid of my.
Yeah.
It was so the next season. So here I have this big old huge tray of these dunks, and I'm gonna tell the world. I'm just gonna tell the world how I fixed gnats in your tent. I'm gonna tell the world how you do this, and it's just through these mosquito dunks, And I soaked them for a long period of time, so I got the ppms way up on the mixtures of these things, and I went. One of my girls suffered. Okay, because I think they were drinking it. They absolutely wasn't killing a gnat. And I used it I've used it from the time they were seedlings, basically, because I brought gnats in, as stupid as that sounds, because I wanted to show
how easy it is to get rid of the gnats.
Yeah.
It's so easy, right?
So I stunted. And this is what you can't do when you're only going 4 plants, right? But you're also trying to create content. right? Well, I'm trying to create some content, but
Oh.
not ruin my grow. I mean, it's so important to me to get my yield and my grow. So I stunted one of my girls doing this. She had the gnats; they were flying everywhere, and
It was Lily.
yeah,
Poor Lily.
I'm sorry, I
Her
went
name
off on
is
a
Lily.
I went off on a rant. And so anyway, so going back to watering, how I water. So in watering, so anyways, I like the 7 gallons for growing organically and being able to put a moisture meter in there of some kind. I don't necessarily, the Blue Mat's working great for me. It works excellent. But I know there's other moisture meters out there that work just as well, if not better.
Yeah, it's better to keep all those little microbes in the soil active using, keeping it moist all the time. And I got really into the microbes. I like I made microbe TV because it's really cool to look at that stuff under a microscope. There's a lot going on.
I would have to say, I try to keep my pot moist when I get them in the 7 gallon. Now I'm doing dry back in the seedlings stage all the way from the solo 1.5. I'm doing dry back. When I get into the 7 gallon pot, I like to keep the moisture at about 75%. So I water to 75%. And then the next day I come in and, if they're drinking water, it's going down to 50%. So I'm adding 25%, keeping it about, and that's about with the Blue Mat moisture meter. That's what enables me to do. And when I see a gnat problem now, I know how to get rid of them. By the way, if I didn't mention those I must have used 20 of them that season, 30 of those things.
They don't work.
They just don't work. I've tried them every which way. Forget about those. I've conclusively proven those things do not do squat. But dry back will take away your gnats almost immediately. Well, they take 2 weeks to die. So I've done my study.
And you do some bottom watering while you.
I do all kinds of dumb stuff. I do all kinds of dumb stuff because I have a moisture meter and I'm able to. And that's what makes me be able to do it, because I can put a moisture meter in there and go, okay, I'm down to 25%. I see some flying around. So I'll just bottom water them for a couple weeks, right? So I'll just hit them on the bottom and get them back up there and make sure the soil on the top, the first couple inches, doesn't really have a chance to really get wet again. So I'll dry it out for the top of it for a couple weeks. And when I don't see anything flying around in there, I know it's safe again to get my 75% water back in those pots. And I feel like this has been just worked out really good for getting rid of gnats and not stressing out my plants at all. They don't suffer at all. I get rid of the gnats. This has just been the best thing, the best way for me to do it. It's just been awesome. Yeah.
This clip is brought to you by AC Infinity. Use discount code MrGrow at 15 to save on any of their products.